The Philippines is at a crossroads, with its future growth and opportunities now closely tied to the global digital economy. Industries like finance, retail, manufacturing, and business process outsourcing, BPO, are evolving, becoming more data-driven and embracing digital solutions. Thanks to improved digital connectivity, Filipino professionals and businesses are increasingly linked to the global marketplace, strengthening their role in the international economy. This shift isn't just benefiting businesses. Reliable internet access has transformed personal relationships, made education more accessible, and introduced innovation into public services. Recognizing the critical role of digital infrastructure, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. recently approved a $288 million project aimed at boosting internet speeds and connectivity across the nation. The country's broadband market paints a different picture. Despite being one of the most profitable in Southeast Asia, it's also one of the most tightly controlled and underfunded. Two telecom giants hold 91% of the mobile subscriber market, a stark contrast to the 70 to 80% concentration in neighboring countries. This imbalance hints at deeper infrastructure challenges. A telling sign of these issues is the number of mobile towers per person. In 2022, the Philippines had only 28 mobile towers per 100,000 people, just a third of what other ASEAN nations offer, according to Tower Exchange. Even more troubling, investment in telecom infrastructure has been on the decline. Between 2018 and 2022, spending fell from 0.64% to 0.44% of the country's GDP. Meanwhile, over 100 developing nations have invested at least 1% of their GDP in telecom at some point between 2006 and 2021, leaving the Philippines lagging behind. This growing gap in digital infrastructure is exactly what President Marcos aims to close. With a clear need for more investment, his focus on improving connectivity is a crucial step if the Philippines hopes to keep pace with the rest of the world. The Philippines is facing a growing digital divide, and the numbers make it clear. According to Data Reportal's Digital 2023 report, the country had 85.16 million internet users at the start of 2023, with an internet penetration rate of 73.1%. While this might sound impressive, it hides a deeper issue. Urban areas enjoy reliable internet and access to digital resources, but rural and marginalized communities are often left behind with limited or even non-existent connectivity. This gap underscores the urgent need for action to bridge the digital divide and ensure that everyone, regardless of location, can benefit from the internet's transformative potential. To tackle this issue, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has approved the Philippine Digital Infrastructure Project, a game-changer for the country's connectivity, especially in remote areas. With funding from a World Bank loan of 16.1 billion Philippine pesos, about $288 million. The project aims to expand broadband access nationwide and enhance the country's digital infrastructure. The initiative was greenlit during the 18th board meeting of the National Economic Development Authority, NEDA, chaired by President Marcos Jr. himself. NEDA highlights that this project isn't just about faster internet, it's about creating opportunities for growth. By focusing on underserved regions, it will attract private sector investment, boost the Philippines' cybersecurity capabilities, and protect critical information infrastructure. As NEDA Secretary Arsenio M. Balisacan put it, broadband services have already unlocked countless possibilities for Filipinos, from remote work to access to essential public and private services. This project will connect even more people, helping drive economic development and empower communities that have long been left out of the digital revolution. This initiative stands to open up markets, networks, and tools like artificial intelligence to more Filipinos, signaling a brighter digital future for the country. The 10-year Philippine Digital Infrastructure Project is a groundbreaking initiative under the leadership of the Department of Information and Communications Technology, DICT, and it's the largest of its kind in the country's history. DICT is overseeing this flagship project, which aims to transform the Philippines' connectivity landscape. At a recent press conference, DICT Undersecretary Jeffrey Ian Dye shared some exciting updates. The project's national fiber backbone, a crucial first phase, stretches from Baler to Laoag and then to Metro Manila, and it launched last April. This year, DICT plans to tackle phases 2 and 3, which will extend the fiber network from Metro Manila down to southern Luzon. The entire network is expected to be completed by 2028, marking a significant leap in the country's digital infrastructure. But that's just the beginning. Thanks to a $288 million loan from the World Bank, DICT will also expand domestic submarine cables across Visayas and connect them to Mindanao, bridging even more gaps in connectivity. In a bid to close the digital divide, DICT is planning to build 722 free Wi-Fi sites across Mindanao, focusing particularly on regions 11 and 13. These Wi-Fi hotspots will serve public schools and rural health centers, bringing much-needed internet access to some of the most underserved communities. According to recent data, the Philippines has an internet penetration rate of 73.6%, which translates to about 86 million Filipinos having access to the internet via mobile data or broadband. However, Dye pointed out a glaring disparity in Mindanao, where some regions have internet penetration rates below 17%. The development fund for this project is targeting these very areas, where commercial providers like Globe, PLDT, and Smart have been hesitant to expand due to low demand. DI emphasized that the national fiber backbone and the broader national broadband program are essential not only for bridging the digital divide, but also for driving the growth of the Philippine economy. This infrastructure is poised to unlock opportunities across the country, empowering communities and businesses alike, and setting the stage for a more connected, prosperous future. Our research shows that for every 10% increase in internet penetration, we see a 1.38% boost in gross domestic product, GDP, which is why this project is so crucial, said an official. This connection between the internet and economic growth highlights just how essential digital infrastructure is for the Philippines' future. According to the Philippine Statistics Authority, PSA, the country's digital economy in 2023 was valued at around $35.4 billion, contributing 8.4% to the nation's GDP. This marks a 7.7% increase from 2022's $33.6 billion and an 11% rise from 2021's $33 billion. The digital economy encompasses everything from e-commerce to digital media, and enabling infrastructure like telecommunications. Of these, digital enabling infrastructure took the lion's share, contributing around $28 billion, or 77.2% of the total, with telecommunications and professional services leading the charge. Looking ahead, the Economy C 2023 report, produced by Google, Temasek, and Bain & Company, predicts that the Philippines' digital economy will skyrocket to a projected $150 billion in gross merchandise value by 2030. This explosive growth will largely be driven by e-commerce, including online media, travel, transport, and food delivery services. The Philippine Development Plan, PDP, 2023 to 2028, is laser-focused on digital transformation, aiming to make the country globally competitive by bridging the digital divide. Currently, nearly 40% of the country still lacks reliable internet access. In response, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. recently approved the Philippine Digital Infrastructure Project, a $288 million investment to expand broadband connectivity, particularly in remote areas. But that's not all. President Marcos has also directed all government agencies to go digital. This includes establishing more common tower infrastructures to enhance connectivity, streamlining business registration processes, and integrating online government services through the eGov PH Super app. The National Broadband Plan is also being implemented to improve both internet and mobile services. Additionally, the Cloud-First policy is promoting cloud technology for government and public services. Micro, small, and medium enterprises, MSMEs, are also being strongly encouraged to embrace digitalization. The government is committed to supporting these businesses as they innovate and adapt to the digital age. With such coordinated efforts, the Philippines is on a path to not only bridge the digital divide, but to thrive in the global digital economy. The Philippines held its position in this year's World Competitiveness ranking by the International Institute for Management Development, but it continues to struggle within the Asia-Pacific region. One key area needing significant improvement is infrastructure. The government is optimistic that the recently implemented Executive Order 59, which simplifies the permitting process for priority infrastructure projects, will boost the country's competitiveness in next year's rankings. In IMD's 2024 World Competitiveness Ranking, the Philippines ranked 52nd out of 67 economies, unchanged from the previous year. However, among 14 Asia-Pacific nations, the country remains in 13th place, a stagnant position it has held for the past 5 years. IMD's ranking is based on the perceptions of business executives and statistical data grouped into 4 categories: economic performance, government efficiency, business efficiency, and infrastructure. When it comes to economic performance, the Philippines stayed in the 40th spot. Within this category, the country made gains in areas like the domestic economy, international trade, and international investment. However, it slipped in employment and prices. The good news is that the Philippines saw a rise in government efficiency, moving up to 49th place from last year's 52nd. Improvements in public finance and the institutional framework helped, though declines were noted in tax policy, business legislation, and the societal framework. On the business efficiency front, the Philippines dropped to 43rd, down from 40th the previous year. While the productivity and efficiency subcategory improved, there were declines in the labor market, finance, management practices, and attitudes and values. Infrastructure was the weakest point for the country, falling to 61st place from 58th. The rankings dipped across almost all subcategories, including basic, technological, and scientific infrastructure, as well as education. Health and environment remained the only areas where the Philippines maintained its standing. The country's competitiveness could see a positive shift with the government's focus on infrastructure improvements. But for now, there's still much ground to cover in the global and regional race. The Philippines may be facing challenges with China over territorial issues in the South China Sea, but in the digital space, the two countries are intertwined. China's Digital Silk Road initiative is being promoted as a way to help countries like the Philippines close the digital gaps that hinder their economic growth. While the benefits of the Digital Silk Road may seem a bit vague, one thing is clear: the Philippines needs all the support it can get to boost its digital infrastructure and strengthen its digital economy. A report from the Philippines Congressional Policy and Budget Research Department paints a grim picture, pointing out that the country still suffers from an uneven digital landscape due to infrastructure shortages, low internet literacy, and high connectivity costs. So, should the Philippines worry about being tied into China's Digital Silk Road? At first glance, it might seem unnecessary to be concerned. In many digital rankings, the Philippines lags behind its peers in the ASEAN region, indicating a need for major upgrades. China's growing influence in the global digital economy could potentially be a game-changer for the Philippines. China has been active in shaping digital policy across Southeast Asia, working with ASEAN on initiatives such as e-commerce, smart cities, and cyber dialogues. Through companies like Huawei, China is also helping close the skills gap in the region's tech sector by rolling out training programs. The Philippines has been one of the beneficiaries, with universities and private foundations teaming up with China to deliver these capacity-building programs. One of China's most significant contributions to the Philippines' digital transformation is its investment in DITO, a telecom company that has challenged the long-standing duopoly of Globe and Smart. Our research, supported by PRIO's Norm project, shows that China's digital footprint in the Philippines is already visible in telecom infrastructure, surveillance technology, and even in social media platforms like TikTok, as well as in e-commerce, supply chains, and fintech. That's a wrap for today. Thanks for tuning in.